Namaste. Welcome to our Soulful Sunday class. We are going to begin in a seated meditation for a couple minutes, and then we're going to jump into a long holding posture right away. So if I can make some room for myself, let's begin seated, and we're going to roll the shoulders backwards a few times and start to loosen up your shoulders. It might feel good to do both at once or one at a time, just whatever feels appropriate this morning. And then just sit up nice and straight. Remember, you can elevate yourself up onto a block or a blanket, whatever feels comfortable. You're welcome to lean against a wall, or maybe you're sitting in front of a sofa that you could use for support. You want to make sure you're comfortable. We'll just be here for a couple minutes. Close your eyes, start to tune into your breath. Feel the breath rolling in and out like waves in the ocean, in and out from your nose. And just notice the texture and the feeling tone of your breath today, wherever you are, whenever you're practicing your yin class, whether it's day or night, you can always come back to your breath by your nose. This is your anchor into the present. So feel the breath there as it skims across the skin. Let your forehead and eyes relax as you look inward with compassion. And then swallow, relax your throat muscles. Let your jaws part. So you're relaxing your jaw, your tongue, and the roof of the mouth. So feel the breath below the nose. Come back to this space. This is our Anapana meditation. Just being aware that you're breathing. Letting the face relax and really drawing your dharana, your concentration, to this one spot below the nose. Your life force energy, your prana, your chi, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now we're going to begin to breathe right away today. We're going to start to breathe into the belly, feel it expand. And as you breathe out, draw the belly muscles back. Breathing in, feel your belly expand. And breathing out, draw the belly muscles back. Let's move into the ribs next. Inhale, feel your ribs stretch. Exhale, just relax. And do it again. Breathe in, ribs stretch out. And breathe out, let go. Let's take one more time here. Breathe in. Ribs expand. Breathe out. Relax. Now let's take it up to the chest. Feel the chest rise as you inhale. And let it fall as you exhale. Opening up the heart center. Love and compassion for yourself today. This is where we begin. Good. Heart center, Anahata chakra. Love for yourself. Thank you, body. I love you just the way you are. Appreciating your breath, appreciating your life. Now let's fill the lungs like a glass. Let's fill the belly, and then the ribs, and then the chest. Pause. Empty chest, empty ribs. Belly draws back and pause. Now continue like that. Filling bottom to top. And emptying top to bottom. Belly draws back at the bottom of each exhale. So continue at your own pace now, finding a rhythm that feels good for you today. Remember, stress limits our breathing. So as we learn to breathe deeper, we're de-stressing our system. Learning how to let go. Beautiful. Let's stretch the arms into a T, palms up. And as you inhale, bring your hands together over your head. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Touch the thumbs against the breastbone and bow your head. Set an intention for this class. Where your mind goes, your energy flows and it grows. What do you want today? Ask for that right now. This is what I need. This is what I want right now in my life. And say thank you for what you asked for. Thank you. Thank you. Hands to the forehead to touch. Remember, thoughts will be there, but they're not who you are. Just watch, be the witness to your thinking. And then back to the heart center. Let's start with a beautiful Om. Breathe in. Om. Nice. Let's start with the right side of Swan. We're going to go right into Swan. We're doing 10-minute holds with Swan today. So if you're new to the practice, right, you have to be careful that you're always working at your edge and adjusting it if it starts to change. So really use that concentration you just developed in your meditation and your pranayama to stay at your edge. So it feels like a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. We get the right leg at a 90-degree angle, back knees bent. And then if this doesn't feel strong enough, you're not at your 5 yet, if your edge start folding over the leg. If you're falling this way because your IT band is tight, that's okay. Bring your blocks this way if you like for deer pose. Same idea, it's an outer rotation. It's a little bit different angle with the torso. All right, so you can use your blocks. If you're up high, maybe blocks go straight up and down. Okay, so 10 minutes starting right now. And take your time finding your edge. Don't be in a hurry. You can put a block under your forehead if you like. If you're down lower, there's all different ways to use these props. If you have 2 blocks, you could do one flat like this and then one in the middle so your elbows are on either side and your forehead's on the block in the middle. So the idea here is to be at a sweet discomfort point in each pose where you're feeling pressure, but you can still breathe and relax. So we want to relax the muscles so the joint tissue takes on the pressure of the pose. So if we're tightening the muscle's going to take on the pressure instead. So look inward, concentrate, meditate on your body and breath right now. Don't let the mind get in the way. And just softly breathe in and out. Nice, slow, steady breaths. So there's many reasons that this breathing is important. Pranayama balances out your chi, right? Because we're creating this rhythmic breathing pattern, helping our yin and yang energies to balance. We're in a yang state. Our breath is probably short and faster, right? When we're sleeping, the breath gets really shallow and it's barely moving, right? But in this pranayama, the soft breath in and out, it's called dirgha pranayama. We're really just finding a place that feels so soothing for our nervous system, right? So it helps everything to come back to balance. And that's really what our whole practice is for. All right, that's our first minute. Let's keep relaxing, keep breathing. So you find your edge and then you get still at that edge and you watch, you breathe, concentrate on your body and breath. Now, if it gets too strong, you want to back out a little bit. This pose is just coming up a little. If you want more pressure because it's getting easy, go down more. Okay, we're stretching the IT band on the outside of the right thigh. TFL muscle is there, piriformis through the bum. And then energetically working on the gallbladder channel, the meridian on the side of the leg, side of the torso. So let's just relax, focus inward, stay with your breath, let it be your anchor until this present moment right here that we're sharing. Feel the breath by your nose right now. Thank you for this breath. Good, and if you can keep your breath nice and steady right now, you'll just feel your body relaxing more and more with each exhale. And this is what we want to do. We just want to let the body melt into the posture over this time. So time is our third principle of yin yoga. Find your edge, get still, make your intuitive adjustments if it changes. And then third principle, stay for time. So we're staying for 10 minutes today in this pose. It's a long hold, but man, it'll just really open up your body and clear your mind. Just try to stay focused on what you're feeling. See the thought as a thought and keep coming back to your breath. Back to the breath again and again. So I want you to think of this time as your time for yourself, with yourself. So we try to create a space where we can heal and relax and breathe, where we're not going to be distracted or interrupted. And if we are, then we are tender with ourselves and just come back to the breath again, back to the body again. Self-compassion. So outer rotation is good for any yoga poses where you have to bend the front knee, like in Warrior 2, in Triangle, in Triangle and Bikram yoga. In Triangle and Ashtanga, you don't bend the knee, but it's still good for that posture. Think about the outside of the thigh being more open, allowing your torso to come down lower in your Trikonasana pose. It's good for seated meditation, right? Where we started our class today. So if that's a hard pose for you, this one will really help. But there's just so many postures that this is going to help with. Good, just simple day-to-day living. Right? Yin yoga is for that as well. Now we have about 3 minutes left, so maybe it's starting to feel intense. You need to lift your torso up more, or you could always pull your front foot back slightly if it's really intense and you can't really find a place to relax your muscles. That's fine. If you need more, you go down lower. If you're laying right over your front leg and you're not feeling it enough, start stretching your back leg back behind you more. And if that's still too easy, you can start walking your elbows towards your right foot. Right, so you're going to bring your torso from over the right thigh to inside the right knee. And then maybe even over the right foot. So we're in swan position, is outer rotation. Two minutes left. Let's keep breathing, feeling the outer rotation, the outside of the leg stretch, the IT band. So trainers may have, your trainer, if you have a trainer or if you've seen this, maybe you do this regularly, using a foam roller on the outside of the thigh. It feels like torture, I think. But that's because it's tight, right? So this is another way to stretch that area out. Nice steady breaths, filling and emptying like a glass, the best that you can in each pose today. Beautiful. Now slowly come up, lean to the right, bring both legs up front. So maybe that's the first time you've ever done a 10-minute hold on that outer rotation. So that was our first side. So you'll probably be able to notice the difference between the right and left leg, maybe feeling a little tingling or lightness or heat. So just notice that as you wake up your body-mind connection. Put your feet flat, let your knees tip side to side, and just notice how you feel right now. Now we're going to keep going with this outer rotation and right side body gallbladder channel meridian work by laying down on our backs and pulling the right knee in gently towards the chest. So go ahead, lay down, left leg straight, right knee comes in, interlace your fingers just below and in front of your right knee. Now relax your right leg and then gently pull the knee with your hands towards the right shoulder. So you're avoiding the right rib cage if you can. And breathe. So it's just 20 seconds. Hold tight. Little pinching sensation in the lower right hip. Good for ascending colon. Working on our digestion, on our internal health, right? So in Ayurveda, they believe digestion is key to health. This is the main thing to focus on for your health, is your digestion. Good belly breathing, massaging this part of the colon. Now let's let the knees slowly come up, left hand on right knee, and the right arm straight out on the floor, palm down. And then just guide your right knee across your body to the left. So feel how we're working on that right IT band again. Yeah, and go as far as it feels good, using your left hand to hold the right knee in place, and then flip your right palm up and maybe gaze that way, reaching towards the right side of the room if that feels good on your shoulder and your chest. Feel your right waist lengthening as you twist your back. So your gaze can turn to the right, or you can gently turn your head side to side, or just keep your head in neutral. So I want you to tune into what feels good today. Let go of what you think and tune into the sensations of your body. Tune into your breath. Yoga is a mind-body connection. Yoga means to bring together or yoke together the mind, the body, the spirit. So focus your mind on your breath, bring your breath into your body. The breath becomes the bridge. As Thich Nhat Hanh said in his last interview, beautiful. Now we're going to slowly roll back, put the feet flat, and then flatten out your lower back. Bring your feet so they're hip distance apart, right close to your hips, arms by your sides, palms down. And then we're going to squeeze the bum and slowly peel the spine off the ground. All the way to the top, pushing your arms down, your hands down, lifting the chest, the ribs, and the hips. Make sure your knees are tracking with your ankles, feet face straight ahead. Stay here for a few breaths. Keep your neck in neutral. Your neck and head are relaxed. Now stay as long as you like. When you're ready to come down, do it the opposite way. Upper back first, one vertebrae at a time. Middle back, lower back, and hips. And once you're on the ground, give your knees a squeeze into your chest. Rock side to side a little bit. Maybe even circles with your hands on your knees. Draw big circles. This is for your sacrum, the final bone of your spine. And go in both directions if you're doing this. All right, legs in the air. First time. Let's roll the ankles around nice and slow, pointing and flexing. Slow circles are really good for the ankle joints. Getting deep into the fascia around the ankle. It's so good for your energy in your legs, for your veins. Let's hold behind the legs. We're going to rack ourselves up to seated go into that second side of swan. Left leg forward, right leg back. Don't worry, we'll get our reverse tables in. So we want to get the left leg even with the top of the mat, shin with the, or the left leg even with the side of the mat rather, the shin with the top of the mat, and then you can start to fold if you need more pressure. Remember, your muscles must be relaxed in order for the joint to take on the pressure. All right, back knee is just simply bent, relaxing that right leg. And you can go over the leg, or you can go out to the left if you prefer. But this is deer pose, but still getting a nice outer rotation stretch in the IT band. Okay, 10 minutes starting now. Let's breathe. You could use a block for your forehead as well, if you'd like to support your neck. So just play around with your props, doing what feels best. That's our first minute. Keep relaxing. Concentrate, meditate on your body, on your breath. Taking this time for yourself, with yourself, letting go of distractions. Going down lower for more pressure, coming up higher, maybe pulling the front foot back for less. Okay, we're coming up to the halfway mark. Keep checking in with yourself. Keep breathing. Remember, this is a pose that's going to help you to feel better. So it shouldn't feel hard in a way that feels harmful. So it can be hard in a way that it's hard to be still or it's hard to concentrate. That's okay, but make sure that you're not going too far into it because you really won't get much out of it if you do. Okay, 5 minutes to go. Keep breathing. So we have 8 limbs in our yoga system. Some of you know. And we have yamas and niyamas, the do's and the don'ts of yoga. They kind of like the 10 commandments of yoga. And one of those is ahimsa. And the term ahimsa is commonly translated as nonviolence or non-harming. So they say it's the Hindu or Buddhist doctrine of any living being, right? So Buddhists won't even kill a bug, right? You want to take that bug, take it outside, let it go on its life. So non-harming. So Gandhi took the religious principles of ahimsa, doing no harm, common to Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism, and turned it into a non-violent tool for mass action. He used it to fight not only colonial rule, but social evil such as racial discrimination and untouchability as well. The untouchables. So nonviolence is at the heart of Buddhist thinking and behavior. The first of the 5 precepts that all Buddhists should follow is avoid killing or harming any living thing. Many Buddhists have refused to take up arms under any circumstances, even known that they would be killed as a result. So non-harming towards yourself right now. Listen to your body, watch your mind, feel your breath. Work at a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. This is the non-harming zone. 2 minutes left, keep breathing. right, let's slowly rise. We're going to lean to the left and bring both legs out in front. Let your legs stretch out. And see if you can feel now the left leg might feel a little more open than the right. Or just as open, I should say. Okay, and then we'll place the feet flat for windshield wipers. Let your feet be hip distance or so. And let your knees gently tip side to side, nice and slow. So this is Daisy. She's from the shelter and she's had a hard life, so she's staying with me while she's healing. And she's been here only for 10 days, not even 10 days. Since last Thursday, I guess. So yeah, probably 10 days. Now from here, we're going to lay back for our second side of our spinal twist. So we're going to straighten the right leg and bring the left knee in this time. Okay, so interlace your fingers just in front of the left knee. Let the left leg relax. Right leg is flat on the mat. And then start to pull the left knee towards the left shoulder around your rib cage and hold it there. Now this is the descending part of the colon. Breathe in and out of your belly. Helping with our digestion today, not only with food, but with life. How are we at digesting life? Because shit happens, right? We're not in control of everything, only our reaction to it. Good. Couple more breaths. Using your hands, letting your hands get stronger. And then we'll let the knee come up so it's pointing to the ceiling. Now the right hand comes to the left knee, left arm straight out on the floor. And then push that left knee across your body to the right, finding the place that feels just right now. So again, left IT band, left waistband, left shoulder and chest. And then if you want, you can turn your left palm up and then really reach out to the left if that feels good. Your left elbow could also be bent 90 degrees for maybe a deeper stretch for your chest. And then find what feels good with your neck. You can turn your head side to side. You can look to the left or right, or straight up to the sky. Now find your breath, breathe in, peace, breathe out, relax. Non-harming, ahimsa. Self-care, self-compassion. Being gentle with yourself, physically and mentally. Every exhale, let go a little more. Something you might be tightening that you're not really aware of yet. It'll come into your consciousness as you stay and breathe. All right, let's slowly come back to center. Place the feet flat again. Hip distance, arms by your sides, palms down. And then squeeze your butt when you're ready. Start to peel the spine away from the ground, bottom to top. Try to lift up as high as you can, squeezing your butt. You're using your back body to lift your front body. Push your arms into the mat too, your hands, your shoulders. Keep your neck in neutral. Breathe, knees over ankles, feet face straight ahead. This is called bridge pose or Setu Bandhasana. Now, when you're ready to come down, do it the opposite way from top to bottom, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow, breaking the tension up between the vertebrae. And when you get to the ground, just bring your knees to your chest, rock side to side like before. And then pull your knees apart towards your shoulders, bring your feet up for happy baby pose. So whatever you can reach easily with your hands without lifting your head or your hips off the mat, grab that. Maybe the ankles, maybe you're holding behind your knees with your wrists, or hold the outer edge of your feet. Now your arms are out of the way so your knees can open around your rib cage or at least wide. And then just hang there. Your legs are relaxed. Hands are doing the work again. And maybe rock side to side. Listen to your body. Watch your mind. Good. Legs up in the air again. Roll your ankles around. Second round. Vipariti Karani. Legs up the wall without the wall. Working the core strength. Now hold behind your legs. And let's rock ourselves up to seated and take a pause here. Oh, let's take one reverse table actually. So hands and feet flat. Let's lift and squeeze, just like we did in bridge, except for now, opening up the shoulders. And if this is too strong, just sit in seated meditation and wait. We'll be there in just a moment. Building that upper body strength, flexibility in the shoulders. And when you come down, shake out your hands, roll the shoulders backwards a little bit. And just notice how you feel now. Good. Let's take a big cleansing breath together. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, cats and cows, hands and knees. Bring your blocks to the top of your mat so you can reach them. So you want your hands flat, fingers spread out under your shoulders. Knees are hip distance, and make sure your blanket's wider than your mat right now. All right, up and down, nice and slow. First time cats and cows today. So take your time, move your body around any way that feels good. All right, now we're going to go into frog pose next. So take your blocks and stack them underneath you. You can stack them on top of each other like this, sideways, right in front of your blanket. You can do them sideways for medium pressure, or medium support rather, or they could be flat. You could have one flat underneath where your body's going to land, and then another one at the top of your mat for your forehead. So look where your hands are in table. You're going to put your elbows exactly where your hands were, and then slide your knees apart on your blanket. Now, of course, Daisy loves this because she just wants to be as close to me as she possibly can all the time. Dexter would be gone. All right, so see how my hips are right between my knees? That's what you want, hips between the knees, right? You don't want your hips sitting back. You don't want them coming forward. This is going to put pressure on the inner thigh tissue, the adductors, and also the groin where the root chakra is. And it's going to stimulate kidney and liver energy of the meridians. All right, now we're staying here today for 7 minutes. So we're doing some longer holds in our Soulful Sunday class. So find your edge. Sweet discomfort is always the goal. 5 on a scale of 1 to 10. Get still. Second principle, second Tattvogyan. And make your intuitive adjustments. Relax and breathe and stay for this time. Good. Just letting your body open naturally, not through force. Now, one way to make this stronger, if you need more, after a little while or right away, is to separate your heels as wide as your knees. Toes can stay pointed or they can flex away from each other. If it gets too strong, slide those toes closer together and have your toes pointed. All right, let's keep breathing. So this is the inner rotation. We started with outer rotation, 10 minutes in each of our swan poses today to really get into the outside edge of the hip. Now we're on the inner edge, the inner thighs, the groin. This is inner rotation of your joint. Okay, let's keep breathing. Slow, steady breaths in and out through the nose. Practicing ahimsa, non-harming towards ourselves in words, thoughts, and actions. Already almost halfway there, right? You just relax and breathe. And we patiently wait and see what happens in the body today, because we don't know. So be open to the possibilities, the potential of these poses of yourself. Patiently, he stood by his principles and watched as success came his way. Gandhi's philosophy of ahimsa, truth, and love are the three things that will help us live a peaceful and a better life. The concept of ahimsa, truth, and love will always win. So when I attended my first 10-day silent retreat was in India in 2006, we took vows, like we're just talking about, the Buddhist vows of non-killing and non-harming, non-lying, and there were several vows that we agreed to. But then on the second night, we were challenged. We had gone out for the day to meditate, leaving our windows wide open because it was gorgeous in the jungle. Well, when we returned that evening and closed the windows, we didn't realize that we had some friends that were staying in the room with us until we moved the bed. Just for some reason, my roommate moved her bed. We weren't supposed to speak, right? Silent retreat, even though we were staying in the same room. We weren't even supposed to look at each other. We just kind of coexisted as if the other wasn't there. But when she moved her bed, she saw this huge spider behind it. She caught my glance and I looked at her and I knew that we were going to break the vow of silence. She said, "I'm horrified of spiders." I said, "So am I." So I went out to find someone that could help us, even though we weren't supposed to speak to each other. We had met prior to the silence. So I kind of knew who to find that might be able to help. So I found this Brazilian woman, very loud, boisterous, fun, energetic woman. I caught her eye in the bathroom and asked her to follow me back to the room. We tried really hard to get the spider, and it was a large spider, into a garbage pail, to bring it outside to practice non-killing, to no avail. And I always will remember her saying out loud, "I am so sorry, my friend," right before she grabbed it with a towel and killed it. And we had to take it outside this way. So these vows are important, but we will be challenged when we take them. It's kind of a funny story, but it's also kind of sad that she had to break her vow. We broke some vows. It was only the second day out of the 10 days. But we practice forgiveness, right, for ourselves. Now, this is the 7th minute. So if you're ready, take the blocks out and stay in the pose. If it's too much already, keep the blocks there. We have 1 minute starting right now to go. So your elbows are under your shoulders. You're holding yourself up and breathing. Good. You can let your head hang or hold it in place. It's just 1 minute. Try not to tighten up your shoulders or your jaw or your face. It's only 60 seconds. Breathe in peace. Breathe out, relax. Good. Just a little bit more pressure on the inner thighs, a little more pressure on the groin by taking those blocks out. But you remember, as part of Vipassana as well, anicca, it's temporary. And this is what we remembered through our 10-day silent retreat as well. It's all temporary. All the pain that we're feeling, all these crazy thoughts that we're experiencing, while we sat in silence and tried to meditate, right? Let's go ahead, crawl forward on your elbows. I want you to come down onto your belly and just lay flat. Legs back together. Please see if you can turn your left ear to the mat, gazing to the right, arms next to your body, palms up. And just lay there and relax. Good. You might be able to feel your heart beating against the earth. Feel your stomach breathing. Try to breathe into your stomach. It's good for digestion again, good for your diaphragm. Now, if that's enough for you, that feels good on your neck, stay there. If you want more, bring your right knee out to the right like you did in frog. Turn your gaze to the left. And that's going to challenge your neck a little bit more, your cervical spine. So the right knee, you're laying on your belly, your right knee's out to the right, just a little bit out to the right, bent. You're gazing to the left. If it gets too strong, gaze back over to the right again. Just 1 minute. So working on the cervical spine, working on the throat chakra, the thyroid gland. Good. Keep breathing slowly in and out. So we do the best we can, right? From the 4 agreements, do your best. And we can't look back and say, oh, I should have done things differently, because you're choosing your best in the moment. Seconds, just breathe, and then we'll switch sides. Good, just letting your muscles relax so the joint of your neck, all those joints of your cervical spine, can start to untangle and realign the fibers so things move smoothly against each other. Now go ahead, bring it back to neutral, bring your right knee down, turn your gaze to the left, and just rest with your arms by your side. This is just like a little break in between the 2 sides. It's also a way to see, because I know my neck is different on both sides, so on each side. So maybe this feels strong enough to stay. Turning your gaze to the left, right ear on the floor. Otherwise, bring your left knee up this time, turn your gaze to the right, and see how that feels if you want more pressure. Okay, we'll stay for 1 minute. And in that time that we're in each pose today, remember, this is the time for you to practice. This is yoga practice, not yoga perfect. We're just practicing, so take pressure off yourself physically and mentally. Yata Bhuta, accepting myself exactly where I am. So all of these words that I use, the Anapana meditation that we practice by the nose, the Yata Bhuta, accepting yourself and your circumstances wherever you are. And then also Aniche, that everything is temporary. These all come from that 10-day silent retreat, Vipassana tradition, but they're used all through yoga as well. But this is where I learned them the first time. Hard to believe that was 15, 16 years ago. Beautiful, guys. Now, prop yourself up on your elbows, bring your knees back together, and then get up on your elbows for Sphinx pose. Elbows exactly under shoulders, hands can be flat or together, legs stretched out on the mat behind you for this very gentle therapeutic back bend. So just hang there. See how your lower back feels. And if you want, you can let your head slowly come forward. You can stay there and breathe, or rock your chin like a slow motion pendulum side to side. What feels good? This is what we're tuning into in our yoga practice. What feels good? And let the feeling guide you, not the mind, not the ego. Now, if you would like more pressure in your lower back, you could take a block under each elbow flat like this, right? And you can just put your elbows on the blocks, and that's going to lift you up, however high your blocks are. So these are 4 inches, I think, 4 or 5 inch blocks. So your elbows there. And then you can do the same with your neck. You can let your head hang, or you can hold your head up, maybe lifting through the chin, glancing side to side. What feels good right now? And if it feels too strong when you try it, go back down to your Sphinx with elbows on the ground. Good. Now, if you're ready for seal, this would be the third level, the highest level of these poses. Go back to Sphinx, elbows on the ground, hands are flat directly in front of your elbows. Squeeze your butt to tip your tail down, lock your legs back behind you, and slowly start lifting the elbows up by straightening your arms. Hands are already in the perfect place. And then you can push down through your hands and pull up through your rib cage. Pull up through your chest, pull up through your chin if that feels good. Pushing the hands down, maybe even separating the hands as wide as your mat. Fingers can turn out like a seal. Now, when you're finished, no rush. Go down, bring your hands under your shoulders, push up to table and back to child's pose. So we're going to meet in child's whenever you're through. Take your time. You're going to bow to your beautiful self in child's using maybe a block under the forehead. Just rest and breathe. All right, we're going to sit up on the feet next. So go ahead, sit up from child's. If you need some support, put a block between the feet. Hands on the thighs. Let's stretch out the tops of the feet. So you could even use 2 blocks if you needed. Close your eyes, breathe. If you're sitting on the feet, you can lean back for more pressure, stretching the quads more. You can lift the knees off the floor to get into the ankles more. That's just if you're sitting directly on the feet and it's not strong enough yet. Good. So we're stretching the tops of the feet. So anywhere where there's tightness, there's going to be a lack of energy and blood flow. So this is what we're doing is we're improving the flow of energy and blood through the top of the foot or the knee or wherever you're feeling each pose. So the body can be healthier and stronger and less resilient to injury. Now let's turn the toes under. We're going to come forward, wiggle the feet a little, and then turn the toes under and start to walk back until you find the pressure that feels appropriate today. Remember, sweet discomfort, not pain. So your hands can be on your thighs or they can stay on the floor in front of you. You can also turn your fingers to point back to stretch your wrists out, especially if you have to work at a computer all day. Or maybe you just use your hands for your work. A massage therapist or whatever. So this is a good stretch. You can also turn the fingers back with the palms up to get a stretch there, which is really strong for me. I know I need it. Just keep breathing wherever you go. Now we're going to lift up to a little squat and stay here and breathe. See how it feels. Feel your heel cord stretching, your Achilles tendons. You can stay here or you can let your head hang. You can be up on your fingertips, what feels good. If this is too strong, just keep your knees on the ground for a few more breaths. Now we're going to move into a little sequence, 3 2-minute standing forward folds, okay? All right, let's go ahead, come to standing. And we're going to get our feet hip distance apart. So it's like you're standing in line at the grocery store, right? We don't want them wide or we don't want them together. Just something that feels comfortable. Bend your knees, put your elbows on your knees. This is our first of 3 2-minute forward folds. So we're working on hamstrings, on flexion now. So this is dangling pose, working on urinary bladder channels down the back body. So hamstrings, right? So you can bend the knees more or less to adjust it. You can stay up on your elbows or maybe use a block on top of the thighs for your ribs to rest against. Or you can just let your body completely hang down, holding maybe opposite elbows. So let your body decide what feels good. It's just 2 minutes in each. So try to find your stillness, breathe. Let your head dangle if it feels okay on your neck. And you can shake your head yes and no. Slowly, if that feels nice on the neck. Cervical spine today. Lots of good work.
Good. You could also shift the weight forward or back in your feet, maybe bringing the weight back towards the heels to change how it feels if it starts getting too strong. Okay, that's our first minute already. Keep breathing. Yeah. Now we're going to shift into a yoga squat in between the forward folds. So if you don't have your block and you think you need it, go ahead, grab one. We want to turn the toes out, get the feet wider, and then let the hips come down. So if you need the block, you just kind of slip it underneath your seat. You're going to use your elbows, your triceps, whatever you need, your shoulders, maybe if you're down lower. But if you feel like you're falling backwards, use the block because that's going to help you feel more stable. Now see how my heels are on the ground, but it takes a while. That's why we do this footwork, to gain flexibility in the ankle joints. We're going to hold for just 30 seconds, 45 seconds in each one. I'll give you time just to kind of play around with it. So we're compressing the hip flexors. Notice that what we stretch typically in dragon, we're compressing that with this deep stretch in the lower back. So this is deep flexion. Good. Getting ready for our second standing forward fold. So go ahead, bring your hips up. You can come to standing or just shift right into it, but we want to get the feet back to that hip distance placement. Okay. All right. Second round, 2 minutes. Really opening the hamstrings. So you might feel this in the tops of your thighs. I know that I did for a very long time when I first started practicing yin. Now I realize it's just because I had tightness there that needed to be de-stressed. And after that started easing up, now I feel it in my hamstrings. So just work with your body as it is. Yata Bhuta. As you are. Remember, you can move your head around a little bit. Yes and no. Whatever feels good. Just keep breathing. You could use your block on your thighs. You could lay your body against your thighs or just hang forward. Just please pay attention to what it feels like in your body. Good. 1 more minute, second round. Just keep breathing. This is dangling pose, letting your spine hang from your hips eventually once your hamstrings are stretched out. More breaths. I know, so you can see Dexter right here. Just his head. All right, we're going to our second round. Turn your toes out. You can come to standing to get into it or just go to it from the standing forward fold. Turn the toes at an angle, let the hips come down. Hands in prayer, whatever feels good. Maybe your shoulders inside the knees. Elbows, triceps. This is called garland pose or malasana. Remember that mala are the beads that Buddhists wear. They have 108 beads and they use them for counting their mantras. So they say their mantra, whatever it might be, Om Shanti Shanti. Then they go to the next beat, Om Shanti Shanti, and they go through 108 times. Good. Just a few more breaths. Second. Squatting position, so good for your lower back to learn to squat. It just takes time. Just go into it, easy. Use your blocks until you're ready to try without.
practicing ahimsa today, non-violence towards yourself. Let's go into this last round. Come on up, turn your feet forward, elbows on knees, whatever feels good. 2 more minutes. Yes, challenge yourself, but keep breathing. Listen to your body, watch your mind, feel your breath. One more minute. You could always bring your hands behind your back interlaced. Try to stretch your arms to the sky if you like. Just be careful, that's pretty strong. Two more breaths, nice and slow and steady. Really stretching out that back body today. And then you're going to crawl forward to table. Go back to child's pose. One last time. Good. Maybe feeling your hips, feeling your hamstrings. What do you feel? Your spine. Just notice without judgment. And then we'll rise back to table, cats and cows. Make sure your blocks are by the top of your mat. We're going to get into a dragon sequence next. So just start to move your body up and down, side to side, whatever feels good right now. Good. Let your body decide. All right, we're going to get into our second spinal twist now. So let's bring the right arm up and then place the right arm on the floor behind the left wrist. Keeping your hips over your knees, let your shoulder and arm rest against the mat with the palm up. Let the right side of the head just melt into the ground, whatever's touching the ground. You don't need to force it. And then decide if you need more or less to be at your edge. If you need more, left arm can go up and behind you. You can also just push the left hand to the floor in front of you for more pressure. Or keep it there for support. Okay, 2 minutes, guys, to open up the upper spine, improving the range of motion of your rib cage. So what is the weapon of nonviolence? This is a term. These purification practices are included in Gandhi's nonviolent approach known as satyagraha, which means truth force, and they are the only weapons that it is possible to use. Some said that nonviolence is the weapon of the weak, but Gandhi taught, on the contrary, he used to say nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. it's easy to beat someone up, right? To get into a fight with someone that's angry or violent or just taking his problems out on other people, right? But to be able to walk away or bring peace into those situations, right? That's strength. That's hard. So we're tapping into that inner strength in our yoga practices. All right, left hand in front of the face. We're going to sweep that right arm gently up. Stay there and breathe. So this is just a good thing to do, even if you just feel like you need to stretch your shoulders or your upper back right in the middle of the day. Just getting on your hands and knees for some cows and cats. And switch hands, right hand down, left hand up. And stay there and breathe. And then step the left foot back here. Go into your side plank, right toes behind you like a kickstand. Letting that left arm fall back, pushing your hips forward. Maybe the arm goes over the ear, whatever feels good, whatever you prefer here. You can make circles with your left arm too. Good, letting the head hang. You can move it around a little. All right, now as you come down, big step forward, left foot, slide your right knee back. Put a block in front of your right knee. And then blocks under your hands. Because we were just in a long forward fold. Now we're going to get to a little counter pose, back bend with high dragon. So front knee over front ankle, back leg at an angle. Back toes can point or flex, just feel whatever feels natural for your back foot. Now your elbow can rest against your left thigh if that's okay. Now if your low back is tight, you're not going to be able to come up very high, right? So just come up, bump up against the pressure, find a place that's tolerable that you can breathe and relax and stay still. And that'll start to improve the range of motion of your low back. All right, so we're going to stay here for 2.5 minutes, 2.5 high, 2.5 low today. Keep on breathing. Nice, slow, steady breaths. You lean forward for less pressure, you lean back for more. So this one is so good for your lower back. If you have sciatica or lower back pain, right, do dragon poses. And the first time I came across this pose, they didn't call it dragon back then, was when I was researching for a client, for a student that had sciatica. And she said, what can I do for sciatica? And I said, let me look into it. And when I looked online, yoga poses for sciatica, this was it. This is what they talked about, stretching out this part of the hip, the front of the hip, to release the tension of sciatic nerve that shoots down the leg like an upside down tree. So it's funny that I ended up teaching this so much. Good, just a few more breaths, about 45 seconds. Now remember, you can do neck work here too. You can turn your head side to side, maybe circle slowly with your chin in each direction, nice and slow. A couple rounds in each direction. Or you can bring your ear towards your shoulder on either side. So feel free to do this anytime we're in the high dragon or anytime it just feels good in a pose. Okay, let's place the blocks inside the front foot. Put the elbows down on the blocks, slide your back knee back if you'd like. And let's stay here for 2.5 minutes. Walk your left foot up to the left. Now we're going more into the front leg with this one, but still working on kind of a splits pose between the front and back knee, letting the groin drop, letting the blocks support your back hip. Keep breathing.
Aniche, it's temporary. Just keep breathing. Tell yourself that when you're going through stressful times, hard times. It can change in an instant. One more minute. Remember, you can add winged dragon, keeping the right elbow on the blocker mat, left hand on the left knee, turn your chest to the left. That's might be a little advanced. Just do it if it feels good. You can always try. And then we're going to lift the body up, bringing the hips back to half splits, and see how that feels today. Let your head dangle forward. Keep breathing. Feel the energy from the neck to the heel. Okay, let's bring the left leg back. Go back to table. Hands and knees. Let's begin that sequence again. Move your body any way that feels good right now. In with peace, out with what you don't need. All right, let's bring the left arm up this time. Breathe in. Left arm on the floor behind the right wrist. Breathe out. Just rest. Tune in. See how it feels today in your body with the left arm and shoulder on the mat, palm up. Left side of the face or head, hips right on top of the knees for stability. And make your intuitive adjustments. If you need more, the right arm can go up and behind, or you can push the hand into the floor. You can interlace your fingers in front of you and try to straighten both arms. Or use the hand in front of you for support. Let's stay here for 2 minutes. Keep breathing. So how is self-purification connected with ahimsa? Identification with everything that lives is impossible without self-purification. Without self-purification, the observance of the law of ahimsa must remain an empty dream. God can never be realized by one who is not pure of heart. Self-purification, therefore, must mean purification in all the walks of life. Couple more breaths, twisting and opening the thoracic spine in your upper back. Okay, right hand in front of your face again. Left arm sweeps up. See how that feels. Good. Opening the chest and shoulders a little bit more. And then switch hands, left hand down,
Right hand goes up and then just open from the left hand to the right. And when you're ready, right foot steps back, easy side plank. Okay, so let's open like a star, just feeling the stretch from head to toes, fingertips. Good, letting the head dangle, do what feels good with your top arm. Maybe it comes over the ear. Maybe your hand reaches towards your right foot, or you can do the circles if you prefer. All right, now as we come down, we're going to step through to the front of the mat with the right foot this time. So placing a block in front of your left knee, blocks under the hands, and we're going to lift the chest up, front knee over front ankle, back toes can point or flex, elbow can rest against the thigh instead. What feels good? Good. Feel how the front of your body is lengthening, the front of the hip, and it translates into the waist and the chest, maybe even to your neck, where you just feel like your front body is opening, right? It's kind of like laying on the blocks at the end of class, but one side at a time. So really targeting the hip flexors and quads in the front of your left thigh on this side. This is where your stomach and spleen meridians lie. So neck work is always a possibility here. You can roll with your chin pointing, or you can just let the top of the head kind of create circles as well. Just letting your head be heavy as the top of the head rolls in circles. And you could also turn your head side to side or just look up, right? Something we often forget to do is to look up, to stretch the front of the neck, to compress the back. One more minute. Feel free to roll your shoulders here as well. I have yet to find a good massage therapist around here. Still looking. Something I do regularly as part of my self-care, massage, chiropractor, usually get acupuncture as well. You know, baths, sleep, water, good food, all those things are self-care. Maybe you go to the gym and enjoy that, or you're a runner. Dancing is one of my favorite things. All right, we're going to put the blocks inside the front foot. Bring the elbows down to the blocks. Walk the right foot over to the right a little bit. And we'll stay here for 2.5 more minutes. We're almost done with class. Keep breathing. Nice, slow, steady breaths. Good. This is the extension of the hip joint. So good for your back bends in your other practices. As we stretch the front of the hip, it gives you more range of motion to back bend. "90 seconds.
So we're making choices in our practice, how far to go in our life, what to do, what not to do, what kind of foods and drinks to consume. And this is also an act of, ahimsa, nonviolence, by what we eat, what we do, what we accept for ourselves in our lives, what we allow into our lives or not. Let's place the right hand on the right knee if you'd like to add the winged dragon, turning your chest to the right. This is optional. "30 seconds, keep breathing. And I heard something from my new coach that I loved. He said, remember, you are your number one client. So he has us put self-care in our calendars first before any appointments or anything else. Now let's straighten the arms. Pull the hips back. This is a business coach, right? But if we can't be good business people if we're not, we don't have enough sleep or enough self-care. Let's bow over the front leg. Feel the stretch from the heel to the neck again, this side. Keep breathing. And then take it back. And let's come to seated meditation pose for a moment. We're going to place the blocks behind us so we're ready for our final relaxation pose, but I want you to sit up nice and straight. Roll the shoulders backwards again and just notice how your body feels now. Your hips, right? Your knees and feet, your shoulders and hands and arms, your neck, and your mind. Just notice without judgment. Let's take a cleansing breath together. Inhale. All right, let's lay back. Blocks behind us, across the upper back, sideways for the chest, and then for the head, just so we can really relax. And just let the legs relax, the arms relax. Lift your hips, tuck your tail if you feel any compression in your lower back. And then just close your eyes. And we're just going to stay here for 2 minutes. So self-care, right? 2 minutes. This lets the energy settle from everything that we've done today. The information is assimilating in your cells and tissues right now. So your body remembers what you did and you can move forward on your path. So swallow, relax your throat, let your jaws part again. Relax your eyes, looking inward with compassion. And let your forehead relax as thoughts come and go like clouds. Remembering you're not your thoughts. Let your breath breathe you now for the next couple minutes. No place to go, nothing to do. Just be.
Without moving, just start to deepen your breaths. Feeling the breath in the body. A little softer now, a little sweeter. Skim the thumbs across your fingertips and stretch your arms up and over your head. That feels good on your shoulders. Just let the arms hang for a few breaths. And then when you're ready, slide your feet flat and roll to one side. Doesn't matter which way you go, and just rest there for a few moments in fetal position on Mother Earth, and feel her support, acknowledge her support, and feel yourself more grounded now from the practice of Yin. Bring yourself slowly up when you're ready, no rush, bringing your hands to the heart center and bowing your head forward to yourself for being here. Once you get here, hands in prayer. Thank your body. Thank you, body. I love you just the way you are. I'm going to take care of you non-violently, do good things for you, eat good food, drink lots of water, and maybe get some exercise, some movement today. Non-violence. Remember ahimsa. Let's end this with an Om. Breathe in. Om. Remember, the light within you and me is the same. Until we meet again, namaste. Thanks for practicing with me. Have a beautiful day.